has shuffled once again. Once again, I threw 3 hints at you last week on Twitter, but I must have stumped y'all because nobody made a guess. My hints were that 1, it was a Best Picture winner, 2, that it starred Michael Douglas, but not that Michael Douglas, and 3, I said, look, up in the sky, never mind, that's not Superman. Now, the Michael Douglas thing was a little bit of a dirty trick, as Michael Keaton's real birth name was Michael John Douglas, and if you didn't know that, then too bad. But hint number 3 was easy. I said, look up at the sky, it's not Superman, which means that it was either an airplane or a Birdman. And indeed, it was Birdman, which won Best Picture at the Academy Awards in 2015. So let's get cracking. Birdman ultimately follows a bit of an outcast actor that once played a superhero by the name of Birdman many moons ago, and he can't really escape that life. He can't escape being recognized as Birdman, even though he wants to take his career to different heights. In particular, he's currently attempting to put on a big Broadway show, and he's sort of sabotaging it at the same time because he's a little bit unstable. Living in the shadow of Birdman for so long, he's beginning to believe that maybe he actually was this superhero with superhuman ability, and not just a mere actor. Guys, make sure that you don't miss out the next time I give out my hints by heading over to my Twitter handle at IAMDWG. I often post the hints on Wednesday for the next Cinematic Shuffle review, so don't miss out. Go over there and follow my handle for updates. Now on my review for Birdman, otherwise known as Birdman, the Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. This is a prime example of a film that I think works extremely well from a technical vantage point, but I personally don't really get it. And further, I don't really care to see it again. I felt the same the first time that I saw it, but that was nearly 10 years ago, and obviously times and tastes change. But how I felt then and how I feel now mostly mirror each other. I find this film to be weird, and I mostly don't understand it. But I do think that it was made extremely well on all fronts. This film follows a gimmick that I've now seen 3 times in my life. There was a movie called Silent House, and of course there was 1917, both of which did the same exact gimmick, which was the entire movie from start to finish is made to look like it was all done in one take. They've all cheated, of course, where they have these quick cuts here and there that are hard to spot, and I hope to one day see a true one-take film where they never cut, but obviously that would be extremely difficult to pull off. But out of the 3 movies that I've listed, I would say as far as seamless transitions go that make it feel like it's one take, Birdman was probably the worst. It had obvious cuts here and there where people walk into shadows, it goes pitch black for instance. That's an obvious cut. There's also these really quick turns of the camera, and it felt unnatural, so obviously those were cuts as well, so on and so forth. Yet I still gave editing full points because it still does something that 1917 and Silent House never do, because it narratively has these juxtaposition points that Broadway shows have, in which it's not supposed to be in real time. So you might see this long monologue from Michael Keaton. The camera will spin around real slowly, and suddenly it's 3 hours later, but in the same spot. So different people show up that weren't there in the first place, and now Michael Keaton's wearing something else, for instance. That's something that's very well done. It's very hard to explain. You'll have to watch it for yourself to understand. But cinematically, obviously, the gimmick of how the movie is shot is very well done. The music and the sound choices were great, and the performances were not only fantastic, but they were extra powerful given the number of lines that they all had to memorize at any given moment. Because, yeah, I mean, the film is indeed edited, but it doesn't have as many takes as a normal film would, which means that the actors definitely had to memorize a lot. So that's really great. There's definitely an underlining theme as well, I guess, of a satirical look at Michael Keaton's own life and history as Batman, and how people see him as that character, and how hard it is to get away from that. But Keaton isn't a washed out actor by any means. It's also important to note that this is a bit of a social commentary on how people as a whole get so obsessive over celebrities and movies, etc. The dialogue in the film itself works in kind of a weird way, making the film feel like a Broadway show within a Broadway show within a movie. The set changes, the constant flow of dialogue, it all feels very much like you're sitting there watching a Broadway show, which is fantastic and next level and definitely very original. But again, I didn't really understand the film's narrative, the surface level stuff. I just didn't get it. It got so wordy because of all that Broadway stuff that I was kind of bored with the film at times because it was already weird and was mostly just following this one-shot gimmick that at times got tiring. I don't know, I often felt like the movie wouldn't end. Yet I kind of wanted it to at the same time because, I don't know, a moment struck where I was just kind of done with the movie. I had committed all the time I was willing to commit to it, and after that, bah. Let's go ahead and break down my final score for a second, which I gave Birdman a B-letter grade, final overall score of 78%, 78 out of 100 possible stars. Again, that's not a bad score by any means. This was a very well done movie. I don't necessarily think it deserved Best Picture, but in a certain light, based off of everything that went into the film, technically, I do understand why the Academy would choose it at the same time. Take that as you will, guys, and let me know your thoughts about Birdman in the comment section down below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you agree with the Academy? Do you not? Let me know, and as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button, bell to be notified when I come out with my next Cinematic Shuffle review. And until then, peace!